Howdy everybody, here for a video on the M65 field jacket, or why I think it's still one of the very best budget options for people who like to spend time outdoors, whether they are working or just enjoy camping. Whatever it is, if you plan to be outside a lot in cool to cold weather, this is probably the best jacket for the money. If you try to buy them in winter, the prices go way up. So I would recommend trying to buy them in spring, summer, and early fall. You can generally save a lot of money on them. This same jacket tends to run about $200 in the dead of winter, and I paid about $60 to $70 when I bought it in summer. The other detail is, as you can probably tell from my other videos, if you're a fan or if you're new, you might need to know, this isn't the standard ACU UCP camo. I use black walnuts to darken it because I don't like to wear camo of a service member because I didn't serve. But I can't find anything anywhere near this great of quality considering the price. So, great for budget. The functions, it's very simple. It has two bottom, two top pockets. Very good sized pockets. You could probably fit magazines and things like that in them, though I don't really have a need for that. I use it for cell phones. I always keep quite a few hand warmers in it. There are a lot of perks to the design here. So already you can probably tell by looking at it, it's a good shell layer. It cuts the wind really well. It holds the body heat in decently. But the main thing on just as its standard self is it's a shell layer. Keeps the water out decent, keeps the wind out pretty well. You could try to seal it if you wanted it to be a really waterproof, but as is, the heavy canvas it's made out of, or half synthetic, half canvas, it keeps out the rain pretty well. So, first off, I'm going to recommend that. It's pretty good. Second off, those of you who are familiar with it may already know, but those that don't, the collar zips up in the back, but upon unzipping it, you can reach right inside, and it does have a hood to keep the moisture out. The hood has drawstrings on each side, so you can cinch it down tight. Or, if you're trying to keep warm, you can throw a hand warmer or two in there, and this is what I do when I'm in the cold for a long period and I don't have enough gear. Throw a hand warmer or two in this hood, and really crank it down, tie it off, and it's a pocket. It's barely able to fit my wrist through that pocket. So that forms a pocket, and then once I've got that pocket, again, I stuff it right back down inside, and it sits about upper small of my back. And that's a good spot for the heat to sink in. Opening up the jacket further from here, the jacket itself is in two layers. There's an outer layer and an inner layer. There is a drawstring that goes the length of the bottom, though it's missing in this particular one. I will have to find a new one to install. And there's a drawstring in the middle to help cinch it around your waist. The drawstrings have more than one use. Not only do they allow you to cinch it tight and keep the warmth in, but you can also take this material, throw it on the ground like this, throw it up, and that double layering goes all the way down both sleeves. So you can pack those sleeves full of dry leaves, dry straw, plastic if you have to, towels, any material to add insulation. This was designed right around the time the military was realizing soldiers sometimes have to augment gear. They're sometimes cut off and unable to reach the gear they need. This is great if you end up in a situation you weren't planning on. Maybe you were driving home from work and you got stranded and you didn't have enough cold weather gear. Maybe you're at work and you're working indoors, but your boss suddenly says you got to do an outdoor job for a few hours. You can find ways to make this warmer than it is by default. So after you stuff those sleeves full, you can then layer the inside with a bunch of material and then crawl up inside from the bottom, stick your arms through, and then reach around and tie those two around you while still laying on the floor, and that will hold in all those dead leaves and all that material. Then you zip it up, button it up, and those dead leaves will all stay inside, sort of like a sleeping bag across your whole body. So this thing can be augmented for your situation and your needs to become substantially warmer than it is on its own. So a piece of equipment I highly recommend, without a doubt. The rest of it, worth showing off. It does have Velcro all over to customize. The back side has a gusset on the shoulder. It allows really great freedom of movement in that shoulder region, but it looks quite nice still. Aside from it being camo, people tend to think these are quite attractive jackets. The gusset does have a small pocket there. It's not very secure, but if you wanted to hide something, you know, a pill bottle with a message, something, I don't know. There's all sorts of stories of soldiers smuggling little bitty things, both in that little area and especially in that hood. Smuggling documents, whatever it is they needed to get through an area. A lot of stories exist of soldiers using that to the fullest. Just a great jacket for the money. Definitely a piece of gear I would highly recommend for a budget conscious or, you know, poor person like myself. So yeah, highly recommended piece of gear, the M65 field jacket. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video just as soon as I can. Goodbye, everybody.